Oh, yeah, baby. Let's get going. Remember Sebastian Rogers?
What is your theory about where is Sebastian?
This is one of the best questions to ask the parent of a missing child, the grandparent of a missing child, the aunt, whoever was around, whoever you think may have actual knowledge. That would include Cindy Murray. My question for Cindy Murray would be, what is your theory? What do you think happened to Jack and Lily? Remember when I asked Daniel about it? Remember what he said? Look it up. So her asking pretty early on, because they were sort of pressured a little bit to go on that show. This is the best question she actually asked. If you ask somebody what is your theory or what do you think happened, they must have been abducted. I think they were, I don't know, please help me find whatever it is. There would not be avoidance. Whatever you think may have happened to your missing child, you want everybody to get right to it and assist you going after this particular path that you believe is the only one to get your child back.
I wish I knew where he was, to be honest.
Your theory.
I wish I knew where he was. Not where he is, where he was. To be honest, Katie Proudfoot is a sociopath. Her lies are better than most people's, and her deception is harder to detect. However, Plaid's is foolproof. The avoidances are what catches a sociopath much easier because they are persistent. A sociopath is much more careful when it comes to getting caught. And it doesn't matter if it's a big lie or if it's a little lie. A sociopath is scared to death of being found out because when they are being found out and their pattern of lying has been revealed, the next thing that's going to take place, the whole house of lies, the whole house of cards will crumble. Their whole lives will crumble. Sociopaths have early on in life developed this pattern to protect themselves. Childhood trauma almost always exists. But while these children who turn into sociopaths tend to be highly sensing or highly sensitive, which, by the way, is a word that no longer has its validity as it used to, I prefer to say highly sensing. They are children who manage to get escape into sort of a made up world that they place themselves into. They lose, they're actually born highly empathetic with high levels of empathy, but they lose more or less all of it and become cold towards society, towards a society that didn't help them when they struggled. So they feel as if they don't owe anybody anything because nobody helped them when they needed help the most. But in order to live their lives to the fullest, they develop sort of a persona that is shaky. at all times. Katie Proudfoot lying to her is second nature. And I don't know how familiar you are with her upbringing. I listened to some of it. I paid attention to part of it. It's pretty, yeah. It's to say it's out there would be, making it sound like a joke compared to how it really was. She is avoiding. I wish I know. To be honest, sure you're being honest now. Gotcha. But to be honest, this major avoidance is it completely aligns with her other avoidances and her other deceptions. She does not want to tell you what her theory is because she knows exactly what happened to Sebastian. It's difficult to suddenly disregard completely what you know had happened, not mention it, not go there. And instead, what? That looked weird, right? Like her eyes were closed. Huh, both of them. Looks weird to me. I'm looking at some completely different at the screen than I do on the recording device. This is huge, people. This is alone, this by itself, but it's nothing compared to all of the other uh, statements made by them, by both Katie and Chris. And this is from very early on, and a great example.
Your theory.
Your theory.
I
I
think it's possible that someone has my son.
I think it's possible that someone has my son. Well, that would be the only other possibility if nothing happened in his home, which it did, in my opinion. But the same claim, like with Jack and Lily. Sebastian just ran out of the house. He disappeared. Nothing caught him. No camera caught him. Maybe he disappeared into the forest, and poof, he's just gone. Well, that's the type of r- narrative and rhetoric that Chris Proudfoot is using. He's very stupid. She is highly intuitive and way over average intelligent, which doesn't have to mean that much. But she's not the average dumbass. She's very much on top of things. And she chose her husband over her son, which is also why the duping delight kicks in so hard. When somebody asks her, "How are you coping?" she can't hold back her laughter. I believe both of them are now in a situation where everything has worked out perfectly for them. They both wanted to get rid of Sebastian Rogers, in my opinion. Both of them. Both of them. And the CPS documents, from what I understand, and the body language at the Texas Roadhouse, it wasn't out of the norm. He was completely neglected at home. They wanted nothing to do with him. They wanted him out. They didn't know how to get rid of him. Chris Proudfoot said, if we had more money, the problem would have been solved. We could have sent him to a home that's very expensive, but where they take care of children with, I don't know, his type of trauma, autism, whatever you want to call it. But I believe that Sebastian Rogers' condition was more trauma than autism related or based. Anyways, so Chris doesn't mind being a blatant liar. Katie Proudfoot is a lot more careful. That's why she avoids speaking. But in the audio where she spoke or her husband spoke to the private investigator, you could hear her in the back cutting in all the time. I'm sure she had some drinks. They both allegedly drink quite a bit. And now I believe they're happy to be rid of Sebastian Rogers. But just like Mr. Martell, his number one priority is what people say about him online. But unlike Mr. Martell, this guy is proud of the abuse that he put Sebastian under. And he defended him beating him on a regular basis. He defended using a belt on him. So this is a big difference, in my opinion, between Daniel and Chris. That Daniel doesn't want anybody to know that he even touched Jack or Lily. He is not only not proud of it, I believe he's now deeply, dare I say, ashamed or remorseful. He sees things in a very different light now. And he never claimed, he only did it indirectly by saying, well, Malaya, they're wild with Malaya. So that was his form of victim blaming. What that really said was, I had to do what I had to do because Malaya didn't do her job. And you know how she did victim blaming? She talked about the day before Sebastian disappeared. How much he had to eat, how many sweets he had, how he was out of control, and how overstimulated he gets. They talked about he had problems sleeping every night. And I believe she overmedicated him. And the statements that uh, two statements about falling out of bed. I believe Sebastian was overmedicated, tossed and turned, probably trying to throw up. Around 10 p.m., he fell face first down on the floor out of his bed. And around 3:10 a.m. was when the so-called mysterious car pulled up to remove him out of his home. At 6 a.m., she wakes up. 6:03, she already is on the phone with him, who was out of town at the time and hadn't been home in about 3 weeks. And we still don't know. Is it because he was ordered to stay away from Sebastian by CPS? Or is it because he felt the need to avoid Sebastian because Sebastian was more and more vocal. He felt more and more empowered, also by his teachers, to speak about what had been going on at home. So there's a chance that either CPS ordered him to stay away, but there's also a very high possibility that he said, I'm out of here. I'm out of here. This is too risky. I'm not going to go to jail for this boy. Because he couldn't control his, well, he didn't want to control his urges to abuse Sebastian. Stupid background music. So, mind you, there's zero commitment. No commitment at all. I think it's possible that somebody got him. Not that somebody abducted him, but somebody has him, right? Is that what you said? Let me go back here.
I think it's possible that someone has my son.
I think it's possible that somebody has my son. Let's hear the question again.
Your theory. Your theory is Sebastian. About where her theory. What is your theory about where is Sebastian?
By the way, she's been wrong about so many things, but I'll suffer through this. What is your theory about where is Sebastian? The question is, where is Sebastian?
I wish I knew where he was, to be honest.
I wish I knew. There would be no need to say that, of course. The parent of a missing child wants to know. So, wished I knew is a little bit weak, don't you think? Don't you think it's really minimizing the urgency that innocent parents of missing children feel. Remember the story that recently uh, came up of a woman who was identified, I think 40 years ago she was unalived, 40 years ago. And they finally matched her DNA or something like that. And the mother, after 40 years, has not lived, has is still living at the same address, just in case that her daughter will come back one day. Not only did Malaya leave the day after Jack and Lily were reported missing, her she followed him out of state shortly after. So,
Your theory. Your theory.
I think it's possible that someone has my son.
okay. Oh, I want to see that. It's not easy for her to do this right now. She wants to be in control. She is well scripted. Anything that throws her off, including the tone of voice from Nancy, not falling for this particular type of avoidance. This is powerful, people. This is extremely powerful. Nancy Grace, despite all of the mistakes that she's been making, and again, I know how popular she is, but I don't think she's good at what she does. Um, she may have been a good prosecutor, but in order, she overdoes it, meaning she has so many times pointed the fingers at innocent people. So if you have a prosecutor run a show like that, by the way, she has a YouTube channel now. It's no longer on national TV, I believe. You need the other side. You don't need a strong defense, but you also need somebody to create some sort of balance. And that's what happens when you have an irresponsible prosecutor, in my opinion, overdoing it. It's similar to having a rookie cop who's doing whatever he can to get a confession. A prosecutor is trying to win his case and get a conviction. That's very different from getting to the truth. That's a judge's job. And she is a one trick pony. She only knows how to accuse people. She doesn't know how to create balance. And there's so many cases that I already talked about here and there. But this one is pretty damn good. In this particular case, with a person who's sociopathic, who's used to getting away with lies, much better liar than Daniel Martel. She lies daily, constantly almost. That's what sociopaths do. They take the easiest route, and lying is second nature to them. So when they're put on the spot, it impacts them a lot more than it would most people. Now, mind you, this is she's looping it here. Bum 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 bum. So she's not rocking back and forth for 10 seconds. How did this happen? Good question.
So here we are, 8 days now searching for him. Walk us through that Sunday night that he went missing. So walk us through. We've got so many people who really want to know. Okay,
Wait, I may be missing something here. I missed it. this happen?
So here we are, 8 days now searching for him. Walk us through that Sunday night that he went missing. So walk us through. We've got so many people who really want to know. Okay.
Look how yes, Katie.
About that day, we were having a really good weekend.
Lauren from Facebook, thank you for posting that video.
We got home. Everything was pretty normal. He was playing in his room.
Everything was pretty normal. If things are normal, you don't feel the need to explain to us that they were normal. You simply have nothing special to say. You think about anything that may have stood out. You would be curious right now. Is there anything that I missed? That lack of curiosity also was highly recognizable in Daniel Martel when he talked about I searched everywhere. He wasn't trying to think of the places where Jack and Lily might be because he knows what happened to them, the same way that she knows what happened to Sebastian. The idea of answering this question seems to send Katie into a wave of absolute terror. Well, let's watch it. And I did it before with her duping delight. She lives it. When you catch her off guard, she fumbles, she freaks out. Remember one of the earlier interviews where she talks about how she went to the school to search for Sebastian, supposedly. Yeah, right. Well, it's not a frenzy, but anyways, um, yeah, Sebastian Reuter still missing after, you know what, next year is, what, more, a year and a half ago it was? Yeah. If you wish to find out more and get my full analysis, you can check me out on X, formerly known as Twitter, at Firetown, and it's my pinned post. I made it May 5th, I made it on May 9th, 2024. He was reported missing February 26th, 2024. But the similar to how it was with Jack and Lily, he was reported in the morning, but I believe it happened the night before. So here, this analysis I formed in my head about a week later. It wasn't until May 6th, May 9th that I figured I'm going to write it down. For future purposes, I still stand by everything I'm saying in the post, and I turned it into a thread. So feel free to take a look at it if you want to know more. If there are interesting cases and interesting statements that you come across, feel free to send them to me via Facebook or Twitter. Only Facebook or Twitter, not email. Feel free to send it to me. Let me know why something is interesting to you. Find the correct statement. Find the best statement you can find to let me know just how important an analysis could wind up being. And I thank you for watching. Stay tuned.